So sattvic upasanas are not going to protect you. Let's be very clear about it. It's fine, you can feel happy and very moralistically high, and you can get on a balloon and fly up in the air and believe that you are very high up. But when things go bad, it is going to go bad for everybody.
Can implement on a regular basis, which would invoke these energies for the protection and revival of the entire community. He has written Sanatana Dharma.
So let Lord Hanuman protect Dharma across the universe, it is not going to happen. Think of your own locality, within the geographical area where you are.
The next question is very fundamental in nature. Is Tantric initiation needed for Bhairava Upasana?
It depends on different sampradayas have different opinions on it. If you are into a Srividya sampradaya, then perhaps anyway you will have initiation, and you then after the initiation your guru may give you an upadesham to do Bhairava Sadhana. On the other hand, if you are more aligned to the Sabar Paddhatis of Bhairava Sadhana, and by the way, the Nath Sabar Sampradayas have done far more Bhairava Upasana than the Tantric Sampradayas of today. Let's be very blunt about it. In my experience, some of the best Bhairava Upasakas are people who come from the Sabar Sampradayas, then the traditional, whether it's Kalikula or Srividya. Okay, their engagement with Bhairava, because their sadhanas are, how would I put it? There is a certain rawness in the sadhana. The settings in which they do the sadhanas are kind of raw, and that setting, the Bhairava sadhanas work very well. Number one. Number two, Devi Upasana requires more rules than Bhairava sadhana. There is still in Bhairava that element of what we call Bhole Baba, some blessings or something like that can come. But in Devi Upasana the rules are far stricter than anything else. Okay, so that is why I think Devi Upasana requires more initiation. Orientation is very strong in the tantric format of Devi Upasana. Bhairava Upasana basic starting, if you take, even if you don't have an initiation, at least if you consult somebody who has done Bhairava Upasana, or if you take upadesham from somewhere and you start off, that can also work.
Okay. Now the last question we are taking from your wall, where you had made the announcement for this program. It's a very long comment, and there are actually multiple questions in it. But I'll try to rephrase it, because reading them out will take a very long time. So this person who posted a comment on your wall said that you suggested regular worship of fierce deities, Bhairava, Devi, Narasimha, Hanuman, Varai, etc. Now, the question is, apart from intensifying personal sadhana dedicated to a singular deity, as Sri Guru Rohit Arya also talked about the other day, and he keeps, he has multiple posts on this on Facebook, and he's also made YouTube videos on this. So what is that thing that laymen like this person says he can implement on a regular basis, which would invoke these energies for the protection and revival of the entire community? He has written Sanatana Dharma. So, and then the next question is a reference to Muslims. How can we, as individuals, weaken the occult factor in Islam?
First of all, these questions, so to do anything, to work for the protection of Dharma at the spiritual and the occult level, first you have to develop your own capacity. So your sadhana has to be very solid. If you are not doing solid sadhana, then there is no group getting together and doing it will not work. It's not that simple. So the best thing you can do is that you do your whichever deity upasana you are doing. If you are confused, start with Ganpati, then move to somebody a little extreme, one of the deities who are, as I mentioned, the Ugra forms, whether it's Bhairava, whether it's Narasimha, these forms specifically, because I believe that we are at a stage where everything is very
nearing a tipping point.
Yes, not only that, let's put it in different, if we use a different way of looking at it, the gunas are very highly stacked in the Rajaguna and the Tamaguna factors. So sattvic upasanas are not going to protect you. Let's be very clear about it. It's fine, you can feel happy and very moralistically high, and you can get on a balloon and fly up in the air and believe that you are very high up. But when things go bad, it is going to go bad for everybody. So given the predominance of the Raja and Tamaguna factors, you will need deities who are aggressive enough to handle that. And in this worship of Bhairava, worship of Hanuman, worship of Narasimha to a degree, etc., is much useful because they will also respond relatively faster. Okay, and also Ma Durga. And I do not mean very complicated tantric upasana, because this is not so much for the siddhi of the devata. What I mean is that regularly you do something for the deity so that you gain into a degree of you gel with the power of the devata. That energy of the deity works through you. You inspire 10 other people to do that. Then together, once in a while, you sit together and you pray, you do the sadhana together, and then you pray that let the deity protect Sanatana Dharma, bring an uplift of Dharma, an awakening of Dharma among people, and also protect it from enemies which are visible and invisible, who work against Dharma. This is the best thing you can do. And so follow standard methods of upasana. Do not experiment in these things. Absolutely not. It will backfire. Because if you have to ask this question, I am assuming that you are doing some sadhana, I'm sure, but it has to go to some more depth before you can actually expect to have a solid result with the deity. So do not experiment, do not do things which are contrary to the well-established traditional paths. Follow those. So, which means that if you do Bhairava, take some advice from somebody, start with the simple Bhairava mantra. If you do Narasimha, you can do Narasimha, nothing else. If you don't know anything, then the Ashtottara Nama of Lord Narasimha or the Kavach of Narasimha. If you do Hanuman, you can do Ashtottara Namas, Kavachas, or you can do Hanuman Chalisa or some this kind of stotras. But take that, or if you do worshipping Ma Durga, you can take the names of Durga or the 32 names of Durga. Intensify this and gather together a group who can do this, and then you do the sadhana collectively and you pray that let the deity protect dharma in and around that space. That's very important. Another thing very crucial which people do not understand, that's primarily because they may not have engaged themselves with a lot of result-oriented prayogas and all that. So if you just sit together, 15 of you, and do Hanuman Chalisa and think that let Lord Hanuman protect dharma across the universe, it is not going to happen. Think of your own locality, within the geographical area where you are. Let the energy of the sadhana that you are doing manifest itself in the physical plane, in and around you first. You're sitting here and influencing something 2000 miles away in another part of India is not going to happen so easily. You will have to reach a very high state of communion with the deity. But what you can do, gather together, do the standard sadhanas and pray that in and around you there are some changes in this direction that happens.
So the next related questions he asked was whether this ritual involves about 15 minutes to 30 minutes a day, or also includes Havan, Anushthan, etc.
No, don't go into Havan. I am of the opinion that Havan is something, fire rituals are something to be done only after you have done sadhana of the deity of the mantra properly. It is not something you can jump into. It has its own repercussions if you do that. Havan, fire is not something to play around with. It's very powerful, it's very beautiful. But look at the way where traditional sampradayas do it, whether it's Vedika sampradayas, listen to the pravachans of Shankaracharyas, go to the Tantric sampradayas, the old traditional Tantric sampradayas, go to the old Nath sampradayas even. Nobody is going to allow you to do Havan on day one until your mantra Shakti is working. This is what the system was set in place for thousands of years. Don't tamper with it. If you do, it will have its own pound of flesh to take from you someday. That's how it is. So that's why I mentioned that better it is for people to first do the normal upasana in that sense. You gather together, whether it's Hanumanji or whether it's Bhairava or whether it's Narasimha, you sit together, you do the sadhanas, you generate that energy and you pray, and together, collectively. Okay. After you have done sufficient amount of these sadhanas to a certain degree and sufficient depth and all that, then you may think of entering into the Agni Tattva ritual of the same thing, but not before that. And that has its own, that is powerful, no doubt, but because it's powerful, it has to be used in its own, in the right way, in the right sense. But this one, getting together and just start, chanting names, 100 names, or things like that, that can be done with, that doesn't require too much of restrictions, or the adhikaras are easier for that.